What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Before we start this video, I have to make a little disclaimer. This job is for a friend of mine who also owns a body repair shop, and his customer has requested a certain type of repair that we normally do not do around here. So before you guys jump all over me for this, just remember we are doing exactly what the customer requested, and nothing more, nothing less. So let's jump right into it. Guys, check this charger out, man. This thing got smashed in the rear end. Like, pretty smashed. Like, where's the rear end at? Where does the back seat begin and the rear end end? You know what I mean? I'm about to throw this thing up on some blocks, chain it down, and we are going to grab it right here in this little Bermuda triangle and see if we can't convince that frame rail come back out, because right now he's looking pretty comfortable all jammed up in there. I honestly don't I don't want to say I don't think it's going to come out, because anything can come out, you know. Proper amount of money, anything can be pulled out. All I have to do is get that tail light to fit, get the bumper to fit, and get the lid to close. Obviously we need a gap right here, and as you can see, there is no gap. We have negative gap. We have, the door is overlapping the quarter panel just a little bit, so hence negative gappage. But I think with some very strategic pulling and hopefully a minimum amount of cursing, we will get this gap to come back. We are chasing the gap. You guys might be wondering how I am going to pull this frame rail out. And as I'm standing here putting on my Milwaukee glove, I'm kind of starting to think the same thing. But as soon as I strap on that D-wall, I'm ready to rock and roll. So what we want to do here first is drill a couple of holes. Right here, you can see where our rebar attaches. This is the frame rail end, and this is what we are going to use to pull this entire rail out. A lot of guys will use these bolts right here to try and pull this section out, and what will happen is they will break off, and also they will try to like weld onto here and pull it, but it separates. So what I do is I drill holes through it first, and I weld it all together nice and solid. And then I also weld those welds to my plate that I use for pulling. So basically I am not only pulling all this sheet metal together, but I am also pulling the end of the frame rail, which is attached from the back side. Enough talking, more drilling. That's what she said. Apparently the lock nut key is missing, so I am going to try a couple different little ways of removing it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Look at that, no damage to the lock nut whatsoever. If he happens to find his lock nut, he can reuse this. Huge shout out to my buddy Birdie for giving me these sockets because he knows I'm too cheap to buy them. I've taken care of him for almost 4 years now, and I'm very grateful for my friends like Birdie and my other boys who always be hooking me up. I got the best family in the world. What's up, boo? What you been up to? I just finished prepping the frame rail to weld the skin on, and little note to self, I need to check my phone and make sure I have storage before I do a lot of work and think I'm recording. But anyways, I made a skin piece right here for the outside of the frame rail. And I went ahead and threw a little piece of C-channel in there just to make everything a little bit stronger. And I've sprayed it all with some nice weld-through primer. And now we need to install the outer skin just like that. And then once we get that welded up, we can finish pulling the rear wall and the quarter skin. Now that the frame rail is nice and straight, it is time to pull out this rear wall and the quarter skin. And I have the tail light here. I'm going to fit it up and to see how far off we are if I don't drop it. Oh man, that's one heck of a gap there. So looks like the lower part of the tail light pocket needs to come out more, so it kicks the light up into that top part of it. And it makes sense because obviously it got hit right there. So I need to pull this rear wall to match this piece here. This is the original piece that was here before, and as you can see, I've made this cut. So we need to just match this up with this, weld that, and then we will pull the quarter skin out. I've got the rear wall lined up with our original bracket on the frame rail, and if you look closely, you will see that there is a gap. And that gap is the exact width of the cutting wheel. So we actually ended up removing metal there when we cut through it. And you have to put that gap back, because if you don't, you are going to be off. And I know that a lot of stuff is all bent up and mangled and stuff, but the thing is it's very important to put everything back, because you can always pull and straighten, but you don't want to be cutting and extending, or, you know what I'm saying. So theoretically, if we pull here, we should move some of this back here, hopefully. I don't know if it's going to happen, because obviously this part is missing, so it might just end up like stretching everything, but we're gonna put a little pull on it, and then we are going to move up to the tail light pocket. Well, it definitely opened it up. Not enough, but you just gotta keep going, gotta keep working it. I've got the bumper and the tail light installed onto the Dodge Charger, and everything is fitting up really nice. I'm very happy with how that turned out. Now I can go ahead and finish welding up all the little pieces on the inside. Now I'm going to take the bumper back off and get the rebar off, finish welding the plate that's behind the rebar, and also finish welding the little floor piece into there. And I actually have to make my own section there because the customer did not want to replace anything, and so that's where we're at. There's no sense in buying an entire quarter panel just for that little piece. I'm just going to make one myself and it will be okay. I've got everything welded up, and the cool thing about this job is I don't have to grind anything, I don't have to prep anything, I don't have to do any body work whatsoever. So this is as good as it's going to get. And I was going to dolly everything out, but I don't see a reason to do that because I'm not getting paid for that. My job was to make the tail light fit, the bumper fit, make sure that the lid closes, and to bring this gap back right here. So we are about to test the bumper. If the bumper fits, then we are good to go. We can take this thing off the rack and get started on the rally car. Hey, but what do you think about those brand new grade 8 bolts? I know Chrysler didn't put no grade 8s on there. And look at that fitment. That's just beautiful. Here, these are the 3 that go over there. It's a little bit of a trick to put them in there, but if you have a good finger game. My finger game is probably over. Let's see who can do it first. See, I've got washers and bolts. Oh, he thinks he's quick. He thinks he's quick. That's not what she said.
No, I'm not quick like that.
Where are you at? bracket. I'm gonna sit here and play with it all day. That looks really good.
Actually, it looks
Hey, that thing looks so good.
really good on this side. Look. I mean, this bumper.
Yeah, it looks perfect to me.
Looks great.
Dang,
Dang.
I can't believe this car looks like that. That's the goofiest thing in the world, man. Look at that. I mean, I kind of like it. It's growing on me. I wonder if this car's supposed. Yeah, I guess it does.
Six-cylinder.
It does have a single exhaust.
Yeah.
I guess that's the intake and that's the exhaust. Hey, at least the rear end's looking good. Look at that thing, man. I am very happy with how this thing turned out. Everything fits very nice. These brackets are a little bit wonky, but Juan's a body man. He'll figure it out. I know it doesn't look pretty, but this is just the reality of a job like this. You know, before you get all the grinding done and all the finish work and all the hiding of the damage, it's gonna look a little rough. So not a big deal. Like I said, Juan will take care of everything and make it look super good, and it will look original. And that's gonna be it for this one, guys. If you, Kat, you gotta cooperate, man. And that's gonna be it for this video, guys. And Kat is not wanting to cooperate. Kat, do the outro. What are you looking for, buddy? You looking for that nip? You want some more? There you go. Slow down there, Trigger. Don't hurt yourself.